All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to another four-line episode. I'm pretty sure this is episode 35, if I'm not wrong. We're back. We got the off season ahead of us. We got a lot to discuss today, but as always, my name is CJ.
It is your amigo Brandon. What's up, people? Long time no see. We've taken a nice little break
Little break.
throughout the playoffs. Well needed a break, catching up on a lot of stuff. We've been very busy. Going
Yeah,
to a lot of football games recently.
football,
But not
bro.
NFL, high school football games. You know how we do.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, this off season has just started.
yeah.
Congrats to the Atlanta Braves for winning the 2021 World Series.
Thanks for beating the Astros.
Beating the Asterisks.
Thank you for being the asterisk. But one other thing, as we all know, we were like kind of absent for a bit. Reasons, like as I mentioned in the last podcast, my room was getting destroyed with construction. We're recovering from that. I should be back in there next week. So if you guys are like OG supporters, you remember this room. You remember this exact setup I have behind me. It's a little messy right now. I just had to put something together just to get this out today. So next week I'll be back in my signature studio area. But as we know, the season is over. This is if you want to say our second season doing the podcast and technically our first full season because 2020 was a Mickey Mouse season, 60 games. Yeah, so we just want to say thank you again to everyone. It means a lot. The support has grown a ton this season on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere, bro. On my Twitter. We made a lot of friends, had a lot of good times. We hope to see you guys back at the stadium on opening day. We'll be there. We'll be out there.
My first opening day game.
Same here.
I have a feeling the vibes are going to be electric.
Against the Red Sox, bro. It's going to be fun.
I will be wearing my Bald Vinny Red Sox shirt.
I might have to wear my Boston shirt as well. Buck Boston.
Shout out Bald Vinny.
Shout out Bald Vinny, the GOAT. So yeah, we appreciate all of you guys. We appreciate all our friends we made in the bleachers. That was one of the best summers probably the best summer of all time. So
yeah, we actually did stuff. It was pretty dope this summer.
Yeah, we were actually able to leave our houses and go do something on like last summer. Well, because you saw like in 2020, we really weren't able to do stadium content, obviously, because there's no fans. But we hope you guys enjoyed the stadium content. The numbers seemed great. I got a lot of good reviews on that. Definitely stay tuned for next year as we're going to be going to a lot more games. So that means more vlogs. So I feel like everyone seemed to love the vlogs this season. But
vlogs were awesome. That has to be my favorite part of filming. Was
me too.
Whole vlog experience was pretty dope.
It was fun. And all the games we went to, it was just great times. I mean, the Yankees got slammed in a lot of those games. If you check out the vlogs, I mean, it was blowouts quite a bit, but we watched them clinch the playoffs in that last game. That was one of the best games I ever went to. I had a ton of fun that day, but yeah, so thank you again. It was just a fun season, but now we got to look forward to 2022. Next season's going to be a blast. But before we get into that, we got to do fit of the day. So Brandon, what's going on here?
So, me and CJ, we're kind of doing opposites right here. We both got the Nike hoodies on.
Yes, sir.
Starting to get a little brick down here in New York.
It's getting cold.
And it's only November 11th. It's only going to get colder. And then we got the classic 2008 All-Star game, Yankee fitted. I retired the old one for the stadium. There will be a new stadium hat until the Yankees win the World Series.
There will be new stadium hats. So stay tuned for Brandon's new hat. I don't know what it is yet. I guess it's a surprise. Is it a surprise?
It is a surprise to everybody. Surprise? Nobody knows.
All right. Mine will be, I told Brandon what I want to do, but mine's going to be a surprise for the viewers, obviously. So I'm about to show up with the surprise on opening day or the days leading up to it. And we'll show you guys the stadium fitteds on opening day, of course. So
yes,
the anticipation begins. But yeah, we got the white hoodie, as Brandon mentioned. I haven't worn this fitted in a minute, so I got to bring it out. The pink brim, 99 World Series, the cotton candy. Probably my favorite Yankee fitted in my collection. We got the Judge jersey in the back. So, yeah, we got the nice little setup going here. Well, I wouldn't say nice. It's kind of messy. Excuse it's like, yeah, you see a random pair of pants over there. You see brand crutches in the back. It looks terrible, but I wanted to do the podcast because dedication. So, anyway, moving on. So this offseason is going to bring a lot. Me and Brandon have discussed quite a bit. And the Yankees' number one priority right now is shortstops.
Yes.
Now, I remember the one podcast we did back in August where you were like, nah, I'm not on the Correa bandwagon. And then the following one, you were like, I want Carlos Correa. What, before we get into the shortstops, what made you change your mind?
All right. So, I was really stuck on no Correa, anybody but Correa.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took the time for the following podcast to suck my own words down. Realize we actually need Correa. Like Glaber, moving him to second is a great idea. Even Cashman said it. Moving Glaber to second and getting a shortstop. I know we have a lot of shortstops in the farm system coming up. Anthony Volpe, a bunch of other guys. So it's coming down to the wire. I think getting Correa this offseason would be really great.
Yeah,
but I don't know
sorry
what
to cut you
number
off.
he would wear, to be honest, because you can't wear number 1.
Oh yeah. I mean, he'd probably have to wear like, I don't even know. Like you can't wear. That's a tough question. I mean, I don't know what he'd end up wearing because the Yankees have so many, like numbers that are not available, as we all know. But yeah, I've been on the Correa train since the start. Well, I wouldn't say since the start. Like when I first saw people campaigning, oh, Carlos Correa, the Yankees, I was like a little skeptical because he was an Astro. He was a part of that cheating scandal. I mean, I was a little skeptical over that. But if he comes to the Yankees, I forgive him. I don't forgive Jose Altuve or Alex Bregman or Gurriel or any of those guys. But I'll forgive Carlos Correa if he comes to the Yankees. That's like the I'm sorry type thing. I'm going to come help you win a World Series to repay that. So, but my heart is set on Carlos Correa being a New York Yankee. And I think it happens. I honestly, genuinely believe that it happens. Brian Cashman
He was in New York City the other day for the
UFC fight.
and he posted NYC, and everybody in the comments is like,
Yankees.
Yankees.
Nice to see him exploring his new home. You have the Mets fans, of course, who are like, oh, yeah, he's going to explore his new home in Queens. They first off,
yes.
Sorry to get off topic here, but speaking on the Mets, Andy Martino from SNY, I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. He's cool, though. He wrote an article saying Max Scherzer, it doesn't, because Max Scherzer is like notorious for like, I want to play here and here. I want to play here only. I want to play on West Coast, whatever the hell. They were saying in the article that Max Scherzer, considering he's a free agent, he wants to go somewhere where he wants to win. And this dude writes why he could be a possible candidate for the Mets. Since when do the Mets win? Is my question. Like Max Scherzer wants to win. Yeah, let's say he's going to the Mets because that makes perfect sense.
That makes perfect sense, and he'll win at the Mets. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even get that. But going back on Correa, I would love him here. I would embrace Carlos Correa. As I mentioned, I was like, oh, I would never wear a Carlos Correa jersey. I would embrace him, but I wouldn't wear his jersey. That kind of changed. I mean, I'm a little. I'd wear his T-shirt maybe. Like now, I'm making progress. I love Carlos.
I don't think I would wear anything, but unless he wins this World Series. If he wins a World Series, promise me this: if he comes to I'm making a promise right now. All the 4-line viewers are seeing it right now. If he wins a World Series with the Yankees, I will buy his jersey.
I will second you on that. I want to join this promise as well. So if the Yankees win the World Series next year, we're both buying Correa jerseys and we'll wear them. But yeah, I love Correa. I think he's a great player, great defensive player, which is what the Yankees need to focus on. Great offensive player as well. But there are other candidates on the market just in case we can't get Carlos Correa. Personally, I think Carlos Correa is going to be a Yankee. People call me, oh, you're delusional. I don't think I'm delusional. I think Carlos Correa will be a Yankee. But people are saying, oh, yeah, Corey Seager. He's more of a, what do you say, like a more realistic option. I wouldn't mind Corey Seager. What are your thoughts on Corey Seager, Brandon? I wouldn't mind him either.
I don't really want him.
Yeah, I'm my heart's set on Correa.
Correa is a better player overall, but Corey Seager, I feel like he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, he does. He does.
We need a player that is not going to get hurt all the time. And I feel like with Corey Seager, he's not the one for us. So I really say we stay away from Seager. Go out for Correa. The free agency just started now.
Mm-hmm.
I say get it done early.
Word, me too, bro. Me too.
The Astros offered him something he didn't accept.
Yeah, it was 5
So,
years, 160 million. Correa doesn't want that. Correa wants like the high 200s or maybe even 300 million. He wants like Cole type money. You know what I'm saying? Like Garrett Cole range of.
we already got scammed with Cole. Low key.
I think that will change. Trust me.
Hold on. After this whole spider attack thing,
Mhm.
not that we got scammed, but we kind of got like, I will say, blindsided.
That is possible. That is possible. I mean, he kind of declined a little bit, but then he gained his game back. And in the playoffs, it was just an implosion.
That was a horrible. Holy crap! Don't even get me started on that one.
Trust me, I love Garrett Cole. I am Barrett Cole, but I'm a little upset with Garrett Cole. And I don't. Garrett Cole will win the Cy Young, but after that playoff performance, I really don't even want to get excited over it. You know, like, yeah,
By the
Garrett
way,
Cole's
shout
in the
out
Cy
Joey
Young.
Gallo for winning the Gold Glove.
Oh yeah, shout out to Joey Gallo winning a Gold Glove in right field. Congratulations! I know Joey Gallo will return back to his form in next. I'm telling you, Joey Gallo will be elite next season. Joey Gallo will be the player we saw in Texas, the player we traded for. People are giving up on him. I'm like, yo, don't give up on Joey Gallo, bro. Don't give up on Joey Gallo. Another player. Speaking upon like outfield, which we'll get into in a few minutes, but getting back to like the shortstops, you got other guys on the market. You got Marcus Semien, Trevor Story, Javi Baez, who the Yankees should not even look at, in my opinion. Don't look at Baez and Story. If Seager and Correa are off the board, which I highly doubt, one of those two is going to the Yankees. You could look at Marcus Semien. You go to Marcus Semien. Definitely would go to Marcus Semien.
We saw him in Yankee Stadium. He was getting hits against us.
He had 2 home runs in that game we went to on Memorial Day.
Yeah, Semien's a good player.
Yeah, Semien's he's very underrated in my opinion. I think he's a great player.
I would rather go for Semien than Corey Seager.
Ooh, that's a hot take. That's a good take. I like that.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like you would get more value out of Marcus Semien than Corey Seager. Corey Seager is a big name player. I mean, a little bit big name player.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Marcus Semien's really underrated. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
You could get Marcus Semien for way cheaper than Seager, and he would play probably even better.
That's a great take. I actually agree with you there because, see, Marcus Semien is a great defender. I had written an article on this the other day. He had quite a few defensive runs saved. So he puts together good defensive metrics. Corey Seager isn't the greatest defensive. I mean, he just isn't the best defensively. And the Yankees really need to prioritize a shortstop that has the perfect balance. I've been saying this a lot on Twitter and in articles. They got to prioritize a shortstop that has the perfect balance of defense and offense. And Carlos Correa is that guy. Carlos Correa is elite on both sides of the field. Carlos Correa is the best shortstop in the league, in my opinion.
Wow.
I don't think anyone's better than him. And I'm going to leave that there. And you could call me that. Like, if Carlos Correa doesn't go to the Yankees, I could still say that because I will back up my words unless something changes all of a sudden. But the Yankees really need to prioritize their defense because parading an infield with Corey Seager and Gleyber Torres up the middle, that could be a cause for concern because Gleyber isn't the greatest defensively. I mean, he's better at second base, but
plus, also, I wouldn't feel like Corey Seager and Gleyber would click. Like if
me neither. I mean, trust me, I like Corey Seager. I think he's a great player, but I really don't think he'll fit in defensively here. The Yankees need to prioritize defense, as I've mentioned quite a few times in the last few seconds. But I feel like Correa and Torres up the middle. I honestly, like, people are like, oh, we should trade Torres. I'm honestly very torn on it. What are your opinions on that? Because I've been seeing a lot of talk about that.
Me too. I'm always back and forth with it. I want to trade him and I don't. I know if we trade him, he's going to do good somewhere else, and then we're going to regret trading him.
Yeah.
I feel like the best move is to keep him at second.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I'm going to be real with you guys.
Should have never played short.
If the Cincinnati Reds come back to us and ask, would you trade Gleyber Torres for Luis Castillo yet again? I would do it. Because Luis Castillo, great starting pitcher. But again, would he fit in New York? I don't know. But I'm a little skeptical now about trading Torres because, honestly, we're getting a new hitting coach. If you guys didn't know, this is old news. Marcus Thames has been fired. Thank God. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But the Yankees, Yeah.
freaking crap show.
Ugh, terrible. But Matt Blake is a great pitching coach. The Yankees need the equivalent of Matt Blake, but on the offensive side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we could get a similar type dude to Matt Blake on our to be our hitting coach, like a similar works magic like Matt Blake does. If we could get somebody on offense that does that, I'm telling you, Gleyber Torres will have a resurgence on offense. He will get some power back. Yeah, he gets a juice ball product, but he will make better contact. I feel like if we get a new hitting coach that could maybe work with him and try and change his approach a little bit. And who knows, maybe his offense will make up for the poor defense in some sense. You know what I'm saying? Because last year his offense and his defense were both poor. This year, maybe his offense could finally go back to what it once was. And then you get Correa at short, who is a proven offensive machine and a clutch hitter. And then now we come to third base. This is a tough question. What do you do if you sign Carlos Correa and you get a first baseman, which we'll get into after this? Do you leave Gio Urshela to play third, and do you put LeMahieu at first and take the cheap way out? I think the Yankees just get a first baseman, but we'll talk about that afterwards.
Now,
or do you keep LeMahieu at third, put Urshela on the bench as a bench piece because benches win championships, as we've seen with the Dodgers, or do you just trade him while his value is at its highest? What is your opinion on what we should do at third?
All right, so here's my thing. I feel like, DJ came to the Yankees as a versatile player.
Yep.
Did not come as a set position.
Mm-hmm.
So what I feel as we rotate DJ LeMahieu.
Okay.
We already know Urshela goes through some slumps. DJ goes through some slumps. Everybody goes through some slumps.
Mm-hmm.
I say we move around DJ, give people off days, just so that way we can move DJ around. DJ could play second, DJ could play first, DJ could play third. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put him at shortstop, but that's a very rare occurrence.
That's a bit of a gamble in my opinion.
But no, I think that Gio is your starting third baseman, and DJ LeMahieu is the move around.
I like where your head's at.
We don't go for Matt Olson. I think honestly, the Yankees should stay with Rizzo. Rizzo, I really liked when Rizzo came here. And why are we just going to throw that away when he's already in our hands?
That's an interesting point because Rizzo, as we all know, is a free agent and he apparently wants to sign back with the Yankees. See, going back to third base real quick. I personally, I think we should just start LeMahieu at third and bring Urshela off the bench to play because we should keep Gio Urshela because we need depth. We need we need depth on our bench. You look at the Dodgers, who won a World Series last season. They have a lot of depth on their bench. They could plug people in instantly. Who do the Yankees have on their bench? Rougned Odor and Tyler Wade? No, you have to have better bench players than that. And as we get to our outfield, we'll talk more on the bench. But going back to first base, it's been reported the Yankees have interest in Matt Olson. I'd say pull the trigger, dude. Matt Olson is a top 3 first baseman in baseball. His offensive production is great. Left-handed bat, awesome defense, gold glove type stuff. But he always comes into Yankee Stadium and he hits bombs when he's here. And it has to do with that short porch in right field. So being a left-handed hitter in Yankee Stadium with that type of offensive production where you really couldn't, I mean, he was blasting home runs out of the Oakland Coliseum, which is like I don't even know what to call that stadium. An absolute
park.
Yeah, it's an absolute dump of a stadium that has like weird dimensions. It's a bizarre stadium, weird walls and stuff. It's bizarre. But if you plug Matt Olson into a Yankees lineup, let me tell you, the Yankees are going to be a World Series contender. If you get Carlos Correa and Matt Olson, the Yankees are a World Series contender, and I will leave it at that. Like, Matt Olson's an elite first baseman. We all know this. So I'm on the Matt Olson train. And also, not to mention, Matt Olson does have another year on his contract. Well, he has this year in 2022, excuse me. But he's only 27, which is a huge, huge thing. And if you look at, like, the way things have gone, like, Rizzo is Rizzo's 32, but Olson's 27. So it's a bit of like an age upgrade. He's younger, but also with Olson he's just, as I mentioned, he's great offensively and great defensively as well. And you could sign him for a few more years after this too if he seems to like it here. And also like this is probably the best first baseman we've seen on the market, like on the trade market for the Yankees is like in a long time. Because look what happens when we trade for first baseman. We had Tino, we had Mark Teixeira. Those guys were awesome here, and they led us to world championships. Can Matt Olson do the same? Is my question. What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't be opposed to signing Matt Olson, but I feel like we could do it with Rizzo. Rizzo's a great first baseman.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like Rizzo. Don't get me wrong. I would have no problem with bringing him back, but I'd rather have Matt Olson if we're generally speaking here. You know what I'm
now
saying?
another thing, we also still have Luke Voigt.
Trade him.
I say we use him as a freaking trade margin.
Oh hell yeah.
Get some pieces in the bullpen.
Yeah, there we go. I think we could use another bullpen arm, or as Peta says, the arm barn. But I'm more of a bullpen guy.
That's stupid. Oh, I want to talk about that whole thing. All right, so they say that bullpen is offensive
to bulls.
Okay, but arm barn isn't offensive also because barn is like where the animals are kept. So what's the big deal? It is a bullpen and it has been a bullpen for 100 years plus. Why are we gonna change it? This is stupid.
He's totally right.
A bullpen is where the pitchers warm up. I mean, that's where the pitchers get. What the hell is arm barn? That sounds. This grader came up with that name.
You're totally right. I mean, I agree. Like, see, if the MLB actually listens to these morons, I won't know what to say. But Rob Manfred, do something right and please hold your ground here. Don't change the name bullpen. Don't give in to the soft nonsense of today's world because that's just stupid. So yeah, bullpen forever. Rob Manfred, if you change it, you officially are really the worst commissioner in the history of sports. I mean, you already are, but that just sends you into the ground even further.
What a mess.
Bullpen. What a disaster. But speaking of bullpen,
let's go to the arm barn.
Let's go to the arm. Yeah. The call to the arm barn. That sounds so corny. But bullpen, speaking of a bullpen, I don't care if it's offensive to bulls. It's a bullpen. Bulls are not gonna. What are the bulls gonna cancel me because I said bullpen? I mean, what the hell's going on here? Like the four lines about to get canceled by a bunch of animals. the bulls will listen to this right now, being like, "Oh man, that's offensive." But anyway, bullpen, as we mentioned,
the allergies are killing me.
Oh yeah, the allergies bugging me out too. That's why I sound a little congested today. But anyway. Heading back to the bullpen side of things, as we just mentioned, the Yankees re-signed Joely Rodriguez to a 1-year contract, which I like a lot. He's very good against left-handed batters. I love to have him as a lower end piece in the bullpen at the moment. Just come in, get through the lefty part of the lineup or something. So I really like that. I think that's a good move. I wanted him, and we signed him for less than the qualifying offer. So that is a good thing. I like that. Bren, do you like that? Do you like that move?
Yeah, I really liked how Yoli came out the bullpen in the Bronx. I feel like he's gonna be good for one more year. We did sign him to a 1-year deal, but I feel like he will stay after.
Yeah, he has good stuff. I enjoy watching him. I think he's a good piece to have in the lineup in the bullpen. So I think that's great. Also moving on to the outfield. So the Yankees could use another outfielder. This is known. Aaron Hicks. I don't think Aaron Hicks should be your starting center fielder. And Aaron Hicks gets injured too much. So you need a backup plan. Now, you have Gallo. You have Judge. You have Stanton, who could also play the outfield. As we saw this season, he could still do it. But I'd rather have him at DH at this point in time. There are a lot of center fielders on the market right now. And the top two are Chris Taylor from the Dodgers and Starling Marte, who was with Miami and Oakland last year. So before I go, what do you think about this, Brandon? Because I honestly, I wouldn't mind either one. What are your opinions? Because we were talking about this last night.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really like Starlin.
Hmm.
I don't really like Chris Taylor either, to
Really?
be honest.
All
I
right, I
would
see.
rather keep our outfield the way it is.
Hmm. Okay,
You have a lot of farm players for the outfield
that is true.
that
That
we've
that
had.
is that
Greg
is true.
Allen, Estevan Florial. I mean, all great players.
Hmm.
Honestly, the Yankees, if they're smart, they don't look anything for the outfield. They go for a shortstop, and honestly, they even look for a catcher.
Ooh, I like the way you think here. See, honestly, I on the outfielder situation, I wouldn't mind bringing in Taylor or Marte, but if Brian Cashman wants to take the cheaper way out, which is fine, bring up Estevan Florial and let that man play. Let that man ball out. I think he has the potential to become a stud center fielder, and let him rock until Jason Dominguez comes up if we don't trade him, God forbid. But so yeah, and then the other talk of the town right now is the dude from Japan, Seiya Suzuki. Everyone's been like raving about this guy. Well, people may be like, "Yo, who the hell is that?" Well, I'll introduce you to him. So he was in the Olympics in 2021. He played for Japan, and in his 9 seasons in Japan, he has hit 315 with a 945 OPS, 182 home runs, 562 RBIs, and 82 stolen bases. And he set a career high in stealing bases with 25 in 2019. And he set a new personal best with 38 home runs in 2021. So now you may ask, do you think the Yankees have the money for this guy? Well, I don't know, because Brian Cashman said he has a budget to use. He's being allowed to spend this offseason, unlike last year. And if you look at the Japan numbers from 650 at bats, you got Suzuki right here. He batted 319, 436 OBP, and a 640 slugging with 46 home runs. Shohei Ohtani, 320, batting 322, 416, 588, 37 home runs. And you get Hideki Matsui in 2002, as we all know. 334, 461, 692, 52 home runs. So this dude is being compared to Shohei Ohtani and Hideki Matsui.
Wow.
And the Yankees are known for the Yankees can bring in Japanese players. We've seen it twice. We've seen it with Matsui and we've seen it with Tanaka. So it could be a possibility. I mean, the Texas Rangers and the Red Sox have been the names floating around connected to him as of yesterday. But it seems like a bit of a reach. But if the Yankees could pull that off, I'd be thrilled. That could be a huge addition to the lineup itself. So that would be dope. Now, as you were mentioning, catcher. What do you like? What are you seeing here?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with the trade markets, or the available players. I just feel like Gary Sanchez, good catcher. Not good catcher like behind the plate, but offensively, he's a good catcher.
Mhm.
So I'm talking about his hitting, all that crap. His defense sucks. He's
I
a
agree.
horrible catcher, but a great catcher. That makes sense.
That does make
Uh,
sense.
Kyle Higashioka, I really don't like either.
Hmm.
I mean, he's a 4-line supporter, but Higgy, if you're watching this, you need to step up your game, my dude. Um, no, so I don't know what catchers are on the market,
Hmm.
but I say we also look for another catcher.
Well, I could tell you that. So we got people the Yankees want to trade for. There's really nobody like to sign right now, but you could trade for people. Um, and two of those catchers are on, I would say, like failing teams right now, like teams that suck in the Twins and the Diamondbacks. We got Carson Kelly from Arizona and Mitch Garver from the Twins, who can put up solid offensive numbers, but they're more known for their defense. And the Yankees gotta put defense first at this point in time when it comes to catchers. Because if you have a great defensive catcher and he's not too great offensively, it's instantly made up for on defense. Like the defense just makes up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like Gary Sanchez didn't really do great on both sides last year. He wasn't great offensively. He wasn't great defensively. So if you get someone that's just like very good defensively, very good offensively, well, I don't say like either someone is just very good on defense. That's fine. I mean, that helps the Yankees a lot because you saw last year we lost games because of wild pitches and pass balls and missed blocks. Like we blew games and lost games because of awful defense behind the plate. So defense behind the plate has to be the number one concern here. But if we keep Garrett Sanchez, I really wouldn't be thrilled. But because the thing with Sanchez, he has to. I feel like he's being taught by whoever to learn how to frame the ball more instead of blocking, like adjusting his blocking. Like he has to work at blocking it. Like framing is fine, but he's not bad at framing pitches, but he's got to work on blocking. Like he has to keep the ball in front of him. He has to make solid defensive plays. So,
by the way, from Ken Rosenthal right now on Twitter,
mm-hmm.
Yolis Rodriguez contract is 1 year for $2 million.
All right, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. And speaking of pitchers, as we just mentioned, Yoeli Rodriguez. Now this brings us to our last position that we have to cover, and that is starting pitching. So, Brandon, what do you think we should do when it comes to starting pitching?
There was really big speculation that we were gonna get Justin Verlander. I feel like starting pitchers and relief pitchers, we just need a lot of help. I feel like pitching seems to be a constant issue with the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're more known to go for like position players more.
Mm-hmm.
I just say we need some more depth in that bullpen. And as the starting pitcher roles, I feel like pitchers in general, I feel like we're lacking on that. And if the Yankees could build it up in the offseason, we have a World Series potential team.
That is true. And I honestly wouldn't mind bringing in Verlander. I mean, he's an elite pitcher that's been around for quite some time, but he's coming off Tommy John, so it's a bit of a risk. But we did that with Corey Kluber last year. But Verlander in his workout the other day was firing 95, 96 miles an hour, which is crazy for a 39-year-old coming off Tommy John. So that's pretty crazy. I think it might be worth because Justin Verlander is very like, I'd say it's a risky move, but it has a very high reward to it. Like we'd have an elite starting pitcher back in another elite starting pitcher in our rotation. And also people seem to forget Luis Severino was great coming out the bullpen last year, but can he move back into a starter role? Possibly. I think we should move Cortez to the bullpen, use him as like a long innings guy, use him as like the secret weapon at the pen. And yeah, so starting pitching should be a priority as well. You got to land somebody. I don't want Robbie Ray, though. People are like, oh, yeah, Yankees should go get Robbie Ray. Not a fan.
I wouldn't mind it.
I feel like it might turn into another J Happ scenario where he looked great in Toronto and then he comes to the Yankees and just like craps the bed. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be a possibility. Wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but that essentially wraps up all the positions that we covered, and that wraps up most of the news. I mean, there's really nothing too crazy going on with baseball. Free agency just started, so we gotta wait till the market heats up a little bit more. But any closing thoughts from you, Brandon, regarding Correa, regarding anything?
Please, Cashman, be the cash god.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor and sign Correa, please. That's all I want. And once I hear that Correa sign, my heart will rest easier, knowing that I'll be screaming his name opening day against the Red Sox in April.
Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more. Correa is the Yankees' like priority at this point in time. You have to prioritize Carlos Correa over anyone else in the free agent market to begin with. So you met with his agent, give him whatever he wants for how long he wants, and bring him in because the Yankees need an elite shortstop like Carlos Correa, and that would take this team to the next level. And one last thought: the Yankees have been known as the evil empire for quite some time, but they're really not too evil anymore. If you bring in Carlos Correa, who's known as like the bad guy of baseball, the villain, the public enemy, the evil empire is returning.
Oh yeah.
If you bring in Carlos Correa, the way
Empire Strikes Back.
yes, sir. I like the way you're thinking right now, bro. Because the Empire would strike back with Carlos Correa. That would be the one piece the Yankees need to complete the evil empire. Because Correa is such a polarizing player, like with his emotions, with his antics, like the thing with the watch and Houston, the World Series. He would fit in great, and I feel like the fans would enjoy some like I would enjoy having Carlos Correa and a player that shows so much emotion and passion on the field on my team because I feel like the Yankees really don't show too much like emotion on the field. I mean, Aaron Judge is very like laid back dude, and that's fine. Like he's he's not out there like screaming like doing antics like Correa, and that's fine. I mean, that's just the way certain people are. But like remember when Stanton was like did that crazy bat flip against the Red Sox on that Sunday night game where like he just threw the bat with one hand. Like the Yankees need more flair to them. And Carlos Correa adds that flair. He adds the personality, adds the energy, he adds everything. He adds a little spice on there. He adds everything. So he checks all my boxes for what I want in the shortstop and for what I want on the Yankees. So yeah, the evil empire, it's back if we sign Carlos Correa. It's back. But that essentially wraps up today's podcast. Thank you guys for listening and watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And yeah, so we will see you next week. I will be back in my room, hopefully. But signing off, it's CJ.
It is your amigo Brandon. Peace out, bros, and let's
Go Yankees.